Hello! So, today's vlog is going to be two things. First, I know I said I was done with Apple M1 stuff, but my church just got an M1 Mac Mini to run our live stream a few weeks ago, so I'm going to sit down and talk about some of my thoughts about that after using it for a couple weeks. And then also I've got to troubleshoot some stuff with our tech setup at church. Alright, I don't think I've ever actually shown you guys the setup, so here it is. We've got this, we got an M1 Mac Mini. We chose the one with 16 gigabytes of memory because, you know, we're doing live streaming, so we wanted as much memory as possible for video and whatever. And this is just like a standard Acer 1080p display, Logitech, my mouse and keyboard. Then we got this Blackmagic ATEM Mini video mixer and also capture card like combination. And then we have this. It's a Canon Vixia HF-G50. It's the most underpowered part of our setup. And it's kind of funny actually. Alright, so I figured I'll just talk about some of my thoughts on the M1 Mac Mini real quick. I've said a lot of things about M1 and you're probably tired of it, but I love it. It's been so nice. First of all, the M1 Mac Mini, it's a lot of power in a little package, which is exactly what we were looking for, because if you could tell, this desk is kind of crowded and cluttered already. So we didn't want to add a whole lot of extra stuff with like a full-sized PC or anything. So for that, it's great. As far as my impressions of like how it runs, great. Better than maybe I even expected it to, like, you know, back when Apple first announced the M1 Mac Mini. I don't know, it's just quick and responsive and it does everything I need it to. Even the stuff that's not like designed for or written for M1 works great. Apple's Rosetta translation layer is amazing because, like, first of all, it's not constantly running the translation layer as it happens. It translates software at the moment of installation and then it goes away. So once you have the software installed, it runs great. I've had no complaints with it. OBS, which is, if you don't know what OBS is, it's like open broadcasting software or something like that. But it's like the primary live streaming software that almost everybody uses for live streaming. OBS works great on this thing. It can stream 1080p to multiple platforms and whatever just fine. We're multi-streaming to YouTube and Twitch using Restream.io, so it really just has to stream to one platform, which is Restream.io, and that then splits the stream and sends it to both Twitch and YouTube. It runs that great. It runs the switcher control software just fine. We've only had one instance of dropped frames, and it was like 5 because of an internet issue, and then it's been great ever since. I could not be happier with how this thing is performing for live streaming, and I'm sure it'll be great for, you know, everything we need it for live streaming for years to come, because it's not going anywhere. It's solid. I haven't even heard the fans spin up on it ever, which is huge, because thermals are a big part of how well something performs. And so if it hasn't been generating a lot of heat, that means it hasn't needed to like really crank and work hard, which means that we have, you know, more performance headroom if we ever decide to get like a bigger, better, higher quality stream. So yeah, those are my thoughts about the M1 Mac Mini. You know, I've got some stuff to troubleshoot, which I'll explain in a second. So our church building is pretty old, or at least parts of it are pretty old. This, let me turn on some lights because it's dark in here. This room used to be the main room where services would happen. Stage was up there on that wall. There were pews like this kind of pew all throughout here. But then we built the new sanctuary over there, and then we didn't need this for anything. Well, we didn't need it for services, so we turned it into like we call it a fellowship room. We have like we have dinners here and stuff. But recently, we've actually been using it as an overflow room, or like something like that for services. So we have this giant 4K OLED TV from LG connected to the streaming camera. Actually, there's an output from this the stream setup that gets sent via an HDMI over IP extender here, and then people can sit in here and watch the service on the TV. The only problem is that last week it just decided to stop working. All of the individual components should be fine, but for some reason this TV is not getting a signal from the what's it called? From the camera. So I gotta figure out why that is, because I've checked all the boxes, and the boxes should be connected and working. And yeah, I'm gonna play with input settings and output settings, and I don't know. I'll get back to you if I figure anything out. I figured it out. So what happened was that in the process of troubleshooting that other issue I was having with the where it was interfering with our wireless microphone, I had my brother make this like metal box to like put it in to try to shield it. But the way it was like kind of wedged into the box, because I didn't like I didn't give him the right dimensions and didn't tell him the right placement for holes to put the power cables through. Basically, it was wedged in there in such a way that the power cable wasn't quite in all the way. And so it worked for a little while, but then it kind of got like knocked loose, and I couldn't get it to stay back inside the box. So I just had to take it out of the box and then put the power cable in correctly, and now it works. So yeah, it was kind of a bunch of headache for a stupid little thing, but like that's just how troubleshooting works. If you've ever worked in audiovisual or any kind of tech related industry, you know that from firsthand experience. Troubleshooting is 99% of the time it's just a lot of headache for some stupid little thing. But that's just life. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna end it here. I've blabbed enough for one video. Be sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment about your thoughts on Apple M1 products if you've used any of them. Hit the notification bell icon thing to be notified when I post new videos, and see you next week.